Okay, this morning we're going to start another video. What we're going to do today is we're going to make a bushing or a guide for a Keyway Broach. We're still working on the flywheel. Let me show you that. So here's the flywheel. So we're not finished with it yet because we got to put a keyway in it. And we did a little polish work on it. We probably got a lot more to do because we have to do a lot of work inside the spokes. But there's the flywheel. As I said before, we put six spokes in it instead of 5, which worked out just fine. So we're on our way. I managed to okay, here's the situation. Here's a normal broach, Keyway broach, and here's what a normal bushing looks like. Okay, it's got a slot in it for the broach, and it fits in there. And this happens to be for a larger keyway than I need. I need a very tiny keyway. I'm not sure it's the smallest keyway, but it's only 3/32 of an inch, so it's a fairly small keyway. They may go down to 1/16 of an inch, I don't know. But 3/32 keyway stock is fairly small. So anyway, I managed to round up just give you a comparison. So I think this is an 1/8 inch keyway, and this is a 3/32 inch keyway. And there's a broach. I managed to round up a broach for it. So now I need a guide for this broach. Now it's fairly easy to figure out because if you have the broach, you can easily measure what you need to make the guide. Okay, you want the broach to penetrate half the width of the keyway. So in this case, it's like the keyway is like 93,000 3/32, right? So we wanted to penetrate 47 thousandths, or half of 93. So I guess that would be 94. Anyway, so that's that. So what we're going to do, we're going to make I did a sketch this morning. And only these little sketches take, a few minutes, right? I just did a sketch on AutoCAD this morning and designed a broach that should work. It's just a little short piece of rod. In this case, we're going to start off with a piece of 3/8 rod, and we got to turn a portion of it down to 1/4 of an inch because that's the size of the hole in the flywheel. So that's what we're going to do today. Shouldn't take too long. Should be a fairly short little job. But there is a couple of different operations. We got to do a little work on the lathe. Then maybe we'll knurl the top of it, or maybe not. Not really necessary. And then we got to put it on the mill and get an 1/8 inch end mill in there and cut a slot in there. So, and we have some particular depth we got to cut it to. So anyway, that's what we're going to do today. So let's get going. And I'll be shutting the camera on and off because we'll be moving from the lathe to the mill and so forth and so on. So with that, let's get going. Okay, I managed to find a piece of dowel, 3/8 of an inch in diameter. And I think it's a 12L14, so it's quite easy to machine. And we're just going to cut off a little short length of it. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and put this in the lathe and true up the ends of it and get going. So with that, I'll take the camera over to the... Okay, I'm set up on the lathe. I'm going to just true up the ends of this piece of rod that I cut off in the bandsaw a few minutes ago. So I'm just going to take 5 or 10 thousandths off the end of it here. go. That's one end. Oh, what am I doing here? I lost my mind for a minute. All right, I'm gonna just flip it over and we'll true up the other end of it. Pick up about 10,000. Okay, we're going to take a portion of this down to 1/4 of an inch. That's the first thing we're going to do. I think we need about 1 inch. Okay, we'll move this over to the mill now and get ready to cut the slot. Maybe I'll put a little chamfer on this outer edge. Oh, that thing's sticking out a long ways. Okay, I put it in the mill, and we got a 5C collet chuck in there and a 5C collet with a 3/8 inch actually collet in there. So we're I set up the mill stop for the bottom of the cut, which is 251 thousandths down from the top of the 3/8. So anyway, I've got the DRO set. And we're going to try to, I've got a lot of stick out on this 1/8 inch end mill because we got to clear the spindle to the top of the chuck. So we'll see. Anyway, here we go. We're going to maybe what we'll do here, we'll just, I don't know what this is exactly, I forgot. Let's just turn this down to see what this number is here. So we're at about 60 thousandths down there, that's about right. Well, that's what we're going to make a cut. And I'm going to go up here a little ways. And we're just going to freehand a cut in here. I don't know how far we're going to go. This is about a 1/16 of an inch too, is what it is. We're just going to go about to there. We only need 1/8 of an inch of this later on, so let's just take 10 thousandths to begin with. We got a lot of stick out on this end mill, so we're just going to freehand this. Turn this. Yeah, we're at the bottom. I pulled the lock down, so it should be good. Let's just leave it there. I'm just taking 2 thousandths off right now, 2 or 3 thousandths. The final cut. Okay, I've got the stop set up, so we're good. We can come right back to the same spot. And I've got the y-axis locked at 0, so we're good to go there. So let's move this up out of the way a little bit. We can see if let's see where we're at with the broach. Now I mic'd the broach, and it was we're cutting a 125 thousandths slot in there with the end mill. And the broach was 130 thousandths on the back side. But look at that, fits. So a good thing I checked it. Actually, not sure what to do now. Go the other end of it. It's got to, you know, this broach has got to go through the guide all the way, so we need a little bit of space in there. You know what I think I'll do is just take a teeny bit out on either side. So let's go back down to the bottom. The y-axis is at 0, so I'm going to give it a 1/2 thousandths on either side. Now because I think it's going to go in there just fine. Okay, I'm going to shut the camera off. We'll move this back over to the lathe and get ready to part it off. I'm not going to put the knurl on it. I don't see any sense in doing that. So we're going to move it back over to the lathe, part it off 1/8 inch from this offset here, and then we're going to the arbor press, or the press, and we'll press that Keyway broach through there. Okay, there it is. Okay, I parted it off. You know, I don't know. It's a very tiny guide, and the broach fits in there. Not as good as it should, but at least up to this point it fits really good, actually. So it slides in there. I don't know about right at the end of this, so maybe the broach is a little fat right there, the Keyway broach. But we'll push it through there with the press, so hydraulic press. So this size Keyway broach does not need a shim. So when after this makes its pass, we're going to have a full depth Keyway. It's only 3/32 of an inch deep. So there we go. Let's see, where's the wheel here? So this, let me zoom out a little bit here. Well, I'm zoomed out all the way. So the wheel, this goes right in the wheel there, and it bottoms out just like it should. And this broach starts in this direction. And, well, I may have to widen this a little bit. We'll see. Because it doesn't quite start, so I don't know why that is. So we'll have to figure that out. I hope I don't have to make this slot any deeper, but theoretically it should work. So we'll see. Anyway, with that, I'll work that little detail out right there. I mean, it's going in the hole, but not it doesn't pass through easily up to the first little teeth there. So it's got to pass through up to this tooth right here. So it's not quite making that. I mean, we're talking thousandths of an inch, but so we'll see what we can do about that. With that, we'll move on to the next step. Okay, I'm over at the press. This is going to take a couple times around, I'm sure. I don't think I can reach the depth, but we're just pushing it through there. No pressure on it, actually. I got a couple 1, 2, 3 blocks propping it up. I was about a half an inch from making the total height, so I'll have to figure out some way to push the broach all the way through. But we'll push it down with this right now as far as we can. I did have to alter the end of the broach just a hair, so I didn't want to have to make another guide. But we were only a few thousandths from going through. The slot should have been a little, maybe 5, 6 thousandths deeper. I don't know. We'll have to find something to push this broach through with. I don't know if I've got anything small enough to do that or not. Yeah, I think we're about the end of our game here. There we are. I can't see here. So there's the broach. It just came out the other side. So let me shut the camera off for a second and we'll see what we did. So there's what we did. So the keyway, we do have a keyway through there. I don't think it's ideal. The broach skewed a little bit, but I think it'll be just fine. So we'll make it work one way or the other. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.